So we're going to talk about what amendments should be removed. So we're going to talk about the Third Amendment. It should be removed, like Abe will tell you.
So the Third Amendment is pretty much useless today, like no soldiers are going to go in your home. You don't know what I mean. I'll tell you what the Third Amendment. Time of peace be quartered in any house, without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner though you know what it is. Now it's my lunch break. Let's stand and explain it to you.
Too many! The Third Amendment is thought to be useless or irrelevant. However, scholars argue that the Third Amendment does have an important purpose because it establishes that American citizens are not secondary to the military, and the military has no right to intrude on the privacy of citizens.
You didn't expect me, didn't you? Well, I'm back. I'm sorry I wasn't in a video for a while. Well, I'll talk about that later. What are we talking about again?
Why the Third Amendment should be removed.
I am angry. I don't want to do this, but I will ask why the Third Amendment should be removed.
One eternity later.
I was crying all eternity. It was so sad. I can't do the amendment. I'm sorry.
I'm replacing Fuming Girl. The Third Amendment should be removed because it's outdated, really goofy today. Like a soldier goes, I'm gonna crash here for the night and you can't do anything about it. Like it's weird, so that's my opinion of why the Third Amendment should be removed. A little history about the amendment. Obviously, the intent was to prevent the government from requiring property owners to house people that they don't wish to provide shelter to. In those days, no one could have envisioned governments forcing people to house ordinary citizens. The problem was the forcible quartering of soldiers. Two, the British government didn't typically force their soldiers to be housed in occupied homes. Rather, they forced property owners to house soldiers in commercial property, barns, inns. The Supreme Court recently invalidated an eviction moratorium that effectively forced homeowners to provide housing to people that were not paying rent. Some of those people were presumably soldiers. Jacob Sullum at Reason points out that the reasoning behind the case regulation would have allowed for an almost unlimited control over our lives.
So don't tell anyone I snuck in here. I just want to talk about some more history about the Third Amendment. Okay, because nothing this is one reason why the Constitution is so important. Congress is not authorized to pass regulations that violate the Constitution. Of course, it's not enough to have a Constitution. You also need to be willing to enforce the protections it provides. New Zealand's Bill of Rights, they don't have a formal constitution like ours provides for freedom of assembly. But the government recently suspended that right. Was it? Should have known.
Hey, get out of here.
Oh, well, no, I'll talk to you guys later, but I gotta get out of here.
Oh, I'm sorry about the trespassers, but McCrabs has been fired, but we have Garrett. Come on, he's not that bad. See, I'll show you.
I'm so cool. I'm intended really smart. Even the Third Amendment is really useful. Wait, it's not useful. I guess it's useless because it's from the 1700s and that's old and it's weird. Like soldiers in your house is not nice. If a soldier was in my home, I would confront him and say, "You are really mean. Get out, buddy." Or I'll tell my mommy and he'll say, "Oh no, I gotta get out of here," and run away. Was I good? Was I?
He was good, right? He sucked. Don't tell him I said that. He'll tell his mommy, and that's scary. His mom will fire me. Well, okay, I'll talk about why the Third Amendment is useless. So it's useless because it's really strange that soldiers would even be in your home. Like what? Never mind, I got nothing.
You guys suck at this. I'll finish this off. So if you weren't listening, one thing we learned about the Constitution during Donald Trump's presidency is that there are dead zones in the Hallout document that aren't likely to be revived anytime soon. We now know, for example, that the federal courts aren't really or willing to enforce the emoluments clauses of the Constitution. Article Section 9. The Supreme Court, without comment, dismissed 2 emoluments cases in January 2021 despite ample other dead arrays of the Constitution, amendments, articles, provisions, and clauses that drove virtually no litigation or stated that Trump or Ann will surely last for beyond it. Into this category goes the Third Amendment, the part of the Bill of Rights that was designed to protect the colonialists from being forced to house British soldiers in the decades leading up to the Revolutionary War. Since there no longer are any British soldiers hanging around, and since AID's military personnel tend to live on military bases, there simply aren't any litigants. No litigants means no new case law. And no new case law means little work for law professors, historians, and others who are interested in why the drafters of the Bill of Rights felt the need to place the No Quarter Enough Soldiers Amendment third in the pecking order before other amendments that are far more prominent and controversial today. The Sixth Amendment, for example, guarantees fair trial rights, and the amendment is supposed to protect us from cruel, unusual punishment. These vital protections came after the one protecting people from soldiers. Even as part of the Brennan Center's continuing series on the Bill of Rights, I reached out to Leonard Nyhoff, a professor from practice at the University of Michigan. Among other subjects, he keeps apprised of developments, rare as they are, in Third Amendment law. And well, that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time. And don't forget to hit that sub button and get me to 100 subscribers. Without further ado, see you next time.